Recording in progress.
Good evening. The regular meeting of the Milton Board of Zoning Appeals for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025 has been called to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up this evening is introduction of board members, beginning to my left.
Adam Dinella.
Hodge Patel
Lauren Holmes.
Nick Horton.
and Billy Carmen, Zach Middlebrooks, and Zach Stafford are not at this evening's meeting. Michael, will you please introduce staff? Thanks.
Yeah, Michael Cardiman, Senior Planner.
Rima Abdel Fattah, Planner 1.
Good evening. I'm Paul Fricke. I'm with Gerard and Davis, City Attorney.
Thank you. Item 4 this evening is approval of the agenda. I'll make a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda as published by the City of Milton. We have a second.
Second.
Got a motion by Hodge and a second by Lauren to approve tonight's meeting agenda as published by the City of Milton. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 5 this evening is approval of past meeting minutes. I'll seek a motion to approve the May 20th, 2025 meeting minutes as published by the City of Milton.
Second.
Need it first.
You want to make the motion?
Yeah, you make the motion. I didn't even write it down.
That's okay. I'll make a motion to approve the May 20, 2025 meeting minutes as published by the city.
Second.
We had a motion by Adam and a second by Lauren to approve the May 20th, 2025 meeting minutes as published by the City of Milton. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6 this evening is consideration of primary variances. The Board of Zoning Appeals is a quasi-judicial board comprised of resident volunteers of the City of Milton. The board is charged with hearing requests for variances from the standards of the Unified Development Code, or UDC, and appeals of administrative determination. With regard to decisions on primary variances, the board's basis for decision is provided by these 4 considerations. A, relief if granted will not offend the spirit or intent of the UDC. And B, there are such extraordinary and exceptional situations or conditions pertaining to the particular piece of property that the literal or strict application of this UDC would create an unnecessary hardship due to size, shape, or topography, or other extraordinary and exceptional situations or conditions not caused by the variance applicant. And C, relief, if granted, would not cause a substantial detriment to the public good and surrounding properties. And D, that the public's safety, health, and welfare are secured and that substantial justice is done. The first primary variance this evening is V25-13, 1010 Linden Lane, and it's a withdrawal request. Michael, will you please present?
That is correct. Can you see the screen? And of course, good evening, board members.
Good evening.
There we go.
Yes, this is the withdrawal letter from the applicant.
Any questions for Michael? No, okay. I'll make a motion to accept the applicant's request for withdrawal on V25-13 1010 Linden Lane without prejudice.
Second.
We get a motion by Hodge and a second by Adam on V25-13 1010 Linden Lane to withdraw the application without prejudice. Is there any discussion? I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor of allowing for the withdrawal without prejudice, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Second primary variance this evening is V25-14435 Champions View Drive. Michael, please present.
The applicant is Gary Warren, and the owner is Jonathan Stover. The address is 435 Champions View Drive. The site is a 1.12 acre lot located in the Champions View subdivision as shown in Exhibit A. The property is zone AG1 and is located in the rural Milton overlay district. Typical setbacks for a lot are a 60-foot front, 2 25-foot side setbacks, and a 50-foot rear. The applicant is seeking the following variance: to reduce the 25 feet minimum side yard to 15.2 feet adjacent to the east property line for a proposed home addition. Here is the aerial map. And yeah, as you can see, this is the Champions View Drive street. The lot has a depth of 383 feet and a width of 259 feet as shown in the variance site plan Exhibit B. The lot is pie-shaped with 97.8 feet of frontage along Champions View Drive that expands outward to 259 feet at the rear property line. State water is located in the rear of the property, and there is a 20-foot drainage easement along the eastern property line, if you follow my cursor. The owner purchased the property in 2021, and the original house was built in 1992. This is the original plan from the applicant showing a 13.8 feet setback encroachment into the 25-foot side setback. And this is the official variance submittal showing a 9.8 feet setback encroachment, which they reduced their original plan by 4 feet. And this was officially submitted on May 7th. Elevations and building plans are shown in Exhibit C. Here's the addition right here. Here's a zoom in. And it's 16 feet in width and 20 feet in length. And here's the entry door and then the garage. Existing conditions, proposed. And this is the rear yard, or view from the rear yard, and a view from the side yard. Here's the building plan showing the garage and then the bonus space above it. Here's the septic site plan showing septic in the rear. Here's a zoomed in version showing where the lines are in the back of the property. City staff made a recommendation to explore removing the entry door and moving the garage inward that was presented at the DRB on June 3rd. And I'll expand on DRB's recommendation later in the presentation. This is a zoom in showing the entry door. Here's the adjacent neighbor map showing support from 415, 425, 445, 450, 455, 460 Champions View Drive, and they have support from the Champions View Homeowners Association. And here are the letters of support, all in one sheet. I might recommend for future homeowners for ease. Photos of the property. This is a view across the street, across from Champions View Drive to the south. Backyard view to the north. View to the west, the non-variance side, and view to the east, which is the side facing the house seeking the variance. House photos. If you see the pink stakes, that is the property line that the surveyor left to get a picture of how close everything is to the driveway. On June 3rd, the DRB met had the following comments. DRB recommends approval of the variance request. The garage addition elevations were received favorably by the DRB. The board discussed city staff's recommendation to explore removing the entry door and moving the garage inward. The board stated the entry door gives the front elevation more character, and the presented elevations from the applicant are preferred architecturally versus removing the entry door and moving the garage inward. The board acknowledged there is a 20-foot drainage easement along the eastern property line, and their proposed garage addition is not encroaching the easement. The board also acknowledged the applicant had support letters from many of the surrounding neighbors. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. Per the variance site plan for Pinnacle Land Survey and received on May 7th, 2025 by the Community Development Department, and provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. Any questions for staff?
How many properties are around like that that have some sort of write-in entry garage or something similar to that.
I do know from driving through, 460 had a similar design. They actually received a variance, a side setback variance in 2016 for a side entry garage, or a garage on the side of the property. That was the only one I could think of from driving through the property. But
Michael,
maybe the homeowner can answer if they know about more. It's a detached garage, but yes.
Michael, a question for you. The home is painted in white. The brick is white. Do we know if the intent is to paint the addition in white as well?
That is
to match
correct.
that? Okay.
It'll match the existing colors. Mhm.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you. One last question for you, Michael. How many people do we have wishing to speak in favor this evening on this application, and how many in opposition?
I don't think we have any public comments.
The applicant.
Just the applicant.
Just the applicant?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll have a combined 10 minutes for the applicant to make an opening presentation, public comment from anyone wishing to speak in favor, and a closing statement from the applicant. There will also be 10 minutes of public comment in opposition. Will the applicant come forward at this time? Please state your name and address for the record.
State my what?
Your name and address.
Gary Warren, 1760 Flat Bottom Road.
Thanks. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your application and your addition that you're seeking a variance on?
Yeah, it's a attached single-car garage. Mr. Stover, his needs for this is a couple of different reasons. He has children of driving age, so it'd be nice to have somewhere for them to park and be able to access the house out of the weather. The other is the space above is his plan for an office. So it's off of his master. It's private space for him to be able to work because they work from home. So that was his two main objectives there. The challenges there, the location of it, we really don't have much room to work with there. He's got stream buffer in the back, elevation drop off the end of the driveway down to the backyard. And as Michael told you, the septic line's in the back, so it really has to go where it's at. And then we have already reduced that roughly 4 feet in width, trying to get within your boundaries.
Any questions for the applicant?
I mean, I guess, if you can help explain how kind of this fits within the 4 criteria that we're looking at that you have to meet in order to get the variance. My concern a little bit is hardship because house has a garage. It was purchased 3 years ago, knowing all of the information they knew. And this is something obviously somebody's already done, now somebody else. And then is it going to be a continuous cycle of houses in the neighborhood getting side entry or additional garages and additions because these are built in the 90s that people didn't have 3-car garages and, side houses. I mean, that's my main concern with this.
If I may, I was just talking with the homeowner. She said there's a lot of houses in there that have a 3-car garage on the house. It's not, I haven't looked myself, but I'm assuming that it's 3 on the side, not, an addition off of the main box of the house. So they have a 2-car garage. So they're just trying to get a 3rd-car garage, which, from what I understand, a lot of the houses in there have. May not be the same design, but it's a 3-car.
Yeah. Michael, do you have a copy of the 4 criteria? You want to show him and see if he can kind of point to some of these specifics?
Michael, I've got this if you want to just put it
Yeah,
up.
could you?
Sure. Did you want to talk to each of those, how your variance request falls in line with each of those requests there?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you talk about how your application applies for A, B, C, and D?
How it applies?
Yes.
I think you need to give them an example.
Let me give you an example. For example, the size, shape, topography of the property. How does the need for the variance apply to as a hardship based on the size, shape, and topography?
Based on what?
Size, shape, and topography of the lot?
I'm not sure I understand what you're looking for.
Size, shape, or topography?
Yeah.
They're asking.
How-
Both of them, just kind of jumping in a little bit.
Can you please state your name and address for the
Sorry,
record?
yes,
Thanks.
Lynette Stover. I'm a homeowner. My husband is John Stover. Thank you for having us today
Yeah,
and for
nice to meet you.
considering this. I also couldn't hear very well, so I think the rain is impeding my hearing a little bit. But the topography and the way that the lot is we have nowhere that we can build anywhere else. Behind us is all of the septic tanks. Beside us is the drainage. We can't move in front or anywhere. So the way that the lot is, there's nowhere that we can actually put a garage to store not only a vehicle, but our yard equipment and everything else. We actually had to go and pay for lawn service because we had to get rid of our lawn equipment because we couldn't pull our cars, both of them, in the garage as it is now. So we don't have anywhere that we can store any lawn equipment that isn't detrimental to our neighbors viewing in our backyard and leaving a bunch of debris all through our yard. And we obviously cannot have a
Sheds.
shed thing, an exterior shed structure. So yeah, from that standpoint, I think that kind of covers like the structural size of it and also the situation of not trying to ruin our neighbor's view with exceptional situations. We have nowhere to put our lawn equipment. I mean, that's just one thing, but also another vehicle. And we both work at home extensively and need a place that is not in a closet to do that and feel like we can be on camera because everyone now is on camera. Everyone's on video here. And so you don't want to be looking like you're in a closet in a meeting.
If you look at the floor plan behind, there's a landing for that door access going from the garage. You step in from the front and back. So the area behind that is their planned area for lawn equipment, which allows the car to get in, beside it.
And then how will access work to the second floor? I believe you said you guys were
From
adding
the-
an office.
From the master.
From the
Yes.
master,
So
okay.
it'll just come from the second floor. So originally we had stairs that you come in from the garage and that front door, there were stairs that went up. So we took the stairs out and reduced it to 4 foot and figured out a way to get in from the master so they could still have their office.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
I think I'm okay.
Michael, you said we don't have anyone else wishing to speak in opposition, is that right?
Correct.
If you'd like, we've got about 7 minutes left. If you want to make a closing statement, you're welcome to do so at this time.
I got nothing.
I
No,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
thoughtful consideration and allowing us to present to you today. This is the first time I've had to do this, so appreciate you
Me as well.
taking the opportunity to be graceful.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Any additional questions for Michael or staff? I will close the public portion of V25-1414. Let me back up. I'll close the public portion for V25-14-435 Champions View Drive, requesting a variance, and I will make a motion.
Just get as loud as you can.
I'm closing the public portion of V25-14-435 Champions View Drive, and I'm going to make a motion to approve this variance application with 2 conditions. Per the variance site plan from Pinnacle Land Surveying Services received on May 7th, 2025 by the Community Development Department. And the second condition is to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. In terms of how I look at this application, I'm sorry, we need a second on that.
Second on the,
Okay.
We're talking about one site plan.
It's, yep.
I mean, would that make a difference? I guess referencing the design.
It's on the site plan.
Well, the proposed addition, but I'm talking about this document.
there was one all the way in the back.
Is that on there? That's all it should be, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it's 9.8 in the back there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about adding in this.
Go ahead and restate the motion just so that we're clear on it. V25-14435 Champions View Drive. I'm making a motion to approve it with two conditions. It's per the variance site plan from Pinnacle Land Surveying Services received on May 7th, 2025 by the Community Development Department. And then the second condition is to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. And that addresses this document.
Second.
That takes care of.
We got a motion by Hodge and a second by Lauren on V25-14435 Champions View Drive. Since I made the motion, I'll go through the criteria. The applicant had a larger footprint for their variance, initial request for the variance. They've reduced it. DRB chimed in on the design and leaving that the additional door there, which I think helps with the aesthetic look of the home. The applicant also has support from the adjacent property owners that are there. And so I don't feel that it impacts the spirit or intent of the ordinance or public safety. Additionally, I feel there is a hardship based on size, shape, and topography. They're limited on the rear side with having the stream buffer that's back there, as well as having that drainage easement on the right side of the property.
I think it improves the look of the house from the front, as an addition. I think there's some extraordinary circumstances as a whole, adding a 3-car garage that maybe matches some of the other homes that have them, doing it in a way that is aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood, to the view shed and everything. I think that's a good addition.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel
I've
like
actually
it meets all
driven through that neighborhood, and there's already precedent set with previous construction and also multiple 3-car garage entities in there. I'm actually very familiar with that neighborhood. I have friends that live in there, and I've been through there, so I'm in agreement with all the comments made.
I agree.
I'll call for a vote on V25-14435 Champions View Drive with two conditions. The first being per the variance site plan from Pinnacle Land Surveying Services received on May 7th, 2025 by the Community Development Department. And the second condition is to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you and continue to work with the staff of the city. The third primary variance this evening is V25-1515925 Birmingham Highway. Michael, will you please present? Are you guys able to hear me now a little bit better?
A little bit better. It's still kind of muffled.
Okay.
Yeah, but he assured me the recording was going through. I talked to him.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, and I told him to bump the volume. So doing all we can, barring a 30 to 45 minute recess. Yes. The next case is V2515. Oscar Porjravi and the address is 15925 Birmingham Highway. The site is a 1 acre parcel located on the east side of Birmingham Highway. The property is zone AG1 and located in the rural Milton overlay district. Applicable setbacks for a lot are a 60-foot front, 2 25-foot side setbacks, and a 50-foot rear setback. The applicant is seeking the following variance. Section 3.14A UDC to reduce to 60 feet minimum front yard to 48.4 feet for an existing single-family home. Here's the aerial map showing the property, and here's Birmingham Highway. The lot has a depth of 329 feet and width of 223 feet, as shown in the variance site plan in Exhibit A. The owner purchased the property in 2018, and the original house was built in 1987. The proposed home addition connected via a breezeway meets setbacks. So the existing home in blue, as you see right here, is the existing home, and the proposed addition in the back meets all setback requirements. No variances are requested. And you see right here the red, they're removing portions of the driveway and walkway to get under the 20% lot coverage. Here are the elevations and renderings. And if you follow my cursor, this is the existing home. And it has some exterior proposals, but the structure itself is right here and on the other side, as the breezeway in the new addition is only newly proposed. Here are the stone and brick accents and the trim colors. And again, this is the existing home, and on the left is the newly proposed. Site photos across from Birmingham Highway to the west. View to the east, which is the backyard. View to the north, which is the side yard. And this is the one homeowner that supported the variance request. I'll show that later in the support map. View to the south, which is another side yard. Here's a view from the street. And here's support from the neighbor to the north at 16027 Birmingham Highway, the house I referenced earlier. And here's the support letter. On June 3rd, the DRB had the following comments. DRB recommends approval of the variance request. The board inquired if the rural view shed was impacted, as this request is a front setback variance off of Birmingham Highway. City staff replied, no rural view shed applies to this property, as the subject site is not part of a major subdivision. The elevations were received favorably by the DRB. The board stated the proposed design of the home addition and breezeway ties into the existing house seamlessly to give the appearance of one structure. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions per the variance site plan from LGA Survey Incorporated received on May 12th, 2025 by the Community Development Department, and to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. Any questions for staff?
Michael, what is the lot coverage currently?
Good question. Let's see what the survey says.
And this lot falls under the 20% requirement?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Existing is 9.4.
Okay.
Yes.
And if the addition, the variance to be granted, and the addition was constructed, that would take it to what number?
19.9.
19.4?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, you said 19.9?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
What's this in the back? I guess would be the back right corner.
That's a well house that will be demolished.
Okay.
Any additional questions for Michael or staff?
It's just a what? There looks like a small percentage of the house that's over. Do you know what that is?
Let's see. I do not.
That's fine.
Yeah. But to your point, it's kind of like
It's a very small.
yeah, it's like
corner.
it comes to a point. It's not like a square.
And that structure was built before the city was formed?
1987. Mhm.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm good. Any other questions for Michael?
No.
Michael, do we have anyone sorry,
We do not.
either in favor or in opposition?
Yes,
Okay.
just the applicant is here today.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. If the applicant would like to come forward at this time, state your name and address for the record. We'll have a combined 10 minutes for the applicant to make an opening presentation and public comment for anyone wishing to speak in favor. Naturally, we don't have anybody here speaking in opposition at this point. There would also be 10 minutes allowed for that. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Oscar Purchiravi. I'm building the house for Miss Moody in her land, and the small house existing is she wanted to keep the house for her parents, and she moved to her own house. As you see, it's going to be one story, a slab house. And we try to blend it together as much as possible and keep it like one solid house.
So with the proposed addition, with the proposed addition that you have, the maximum lot coverage is 20%, and you're at 19%. Are there plans in the future to build a pool or do anything additional? Because that would put you over over the 20%.
No, it's not going to.
Okay.
What's your timeline for permitting and planning and starting construction?
Yeah, I already start for the plan for permit. I'm hoping to get permit by mid-July and start immediately and finish it as soon as possible. Hopefully by January, they'd like to be there.
Okay.
Nice.
Any additional questions? Good, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
If you'd like to make we don't have any additional questions for you, but if you'd like to make a closing statement, you're welcome to do so.
Not for me. Do you have any closing statement?
Hi, good evening.
Can you talk into the microphone so we can
Sorry.
have it? It's being recorded. Thank you.
Okay, hi, good evening. My name is Khushbu Modi. Of course, this is my first time having to present. And it's my privilege to be able to speak to all of you here. And I hope you will grant my request. I am in a situation where I am going to need my parents' help to raise my boys. So I would really appreciate if, we could incorporate this project and I can move my aging parents with me. That's my closing statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions for staff before I close the public portion?
No.
I'll close the public portion of V25-1515925 Birmingham Highway. I'll make a motion to approve the variance with two conditions. The first condition is per the variance site plan from LJA Surveying, Inc., received on May 12th, 2025 by the Community Development Department. And the second condition is to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction.
Second.
Got a motion by Hodge and a second by Adam. In terms of the four conditions that we have to consider, the existing home was built, I believe, in 1987, well before the city was formed. So even if they weren't putting the addition on, that would be something that would have to be addressed. I see that as a hardship. We have the support of the adjacent property owner. The sign was posted out there. We didn't have a whole lot of participation or anybody wishing to speak in opposition to it, which leads me to believe that substantial justice is being done, that we're not harming the community by approving this request. Architecturally speaking, I think it looks really good. It's going to fix up an older property that's there without destroying it, but just using that as the foundation, the building blocks for the addition.
I agree.
Any other comments?
No?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, I'll call for a vote on V25-1515925 Birmingham Highway, and we have two conditions on it. First condition is per the variance site plan from LJA Surveying, Inc., received on May 12, 2025 by the Community Development Department. And then the second condition is to provide a foundation survey to the Community Development Department prior to vertical construction. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you and continue to work with the city and staff. Item 7 this evening is consideration of appeals of secondary variances.
None?
Item 8, old business.
Also none?
Item 9, new business.
None.
Before we adjourn, we do not have a meeting next month.
That is correct.
That is correct? Okay.
No July meeting.
And then how many cases are we looking at for August at this point?
I've had 3 variance pre-apps, so
Okay.
I would guess
1 to 3?
one, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you had a hedge, I would say 2.
Thanks, Michael. Item 10 is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second, we had a motion from Adam and a second from Hodge to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.